All right, last two problems of chapter 3. I realized if you've done these on your own, I should just give you the answers. If you've got them right, you don't need to watch the video. So for the first one, you should get 2/25. For the second one, you should get 85/48. So let's do those together now. All right, first step here. Well, we've got some brackets we've got that plus sign enclosed in those brackets. So let's deal with our brackets first. So we have 3/10. And then we want to add 1/2. We need a common denominator here. So our denominators are 2 and 10. 10 is a multiple of 2, which means I can multiply the second fraction, in this case by 5, so that we can get them both out to 10. So we've got that, and then let's just leave the rest of this problem alone for now. Okay, so common denominator time, so we get 3/10 plus 5/10. It's a lot of writing, but I do encourage you to do this one step by one step, just to help keep track of all that you're doing. Okay, so now we can do that addition because we have a common denominator. So we're going to get 8/10. And then we've got times 1/5 squared divided by 2/5. And 8/10 I can reduce down because I could divide both of those by 2. So let's just do that to keep our numbers smaller. You'll actually get the same answer either way, but I always like to simplify wherever I can. Okay, now what? Well, now we've dealt with our brackets, but we have some exponents. So let's deal with our exponents. So 1/5 all squared is going to be 1/5 times 1/5. And so I'm going to write it out. And now actually we just have multiplication and division left. So let's just deal with the 1/5 over 1/5. So we've fully dealt with the exponent. We could do that first multiplication with the 4/5 first as well. Either way will work. But I'm going to do 1/5 times 1/5 to get 1/25. And then I've got divided by 2/5. Now we can do 4/5 times 1/25. So I don't see any way to cross simplify that. So I'm just going to do top times top over bottom times bottom. So 4 times 1 gives me 4. And 5 times 25 will give me 125. So now we have that divided by 2/5. So now we just have that division left. So with division, we're going to flip and then we can multiply. So that's going to become 5/2. Can we cross simplify here? You say yes, you turned on the black marker. You must be able to. So yes, you're right, we can. We've got a 4 and a 2. Those are both divisible by 2. So let's divide out the 2. And then we've got a 125 and a 5. 125 ends in a 5, which means it's divisible by 5. If we divide by 5 here, we get 25. 5 divided by 5 gives us 1. So now we've got 2 times 1 gives me 2 over 25 times 1 gives me 25. All right, last question. What are we going to do first here? Well, I already gave you a hint in the last video. We should start, by converting to improper fractions. We actually have 2 mixed numbers, so we need to convert them both to improper fractions. So we've got, that would be 13/3 minus 1/2 times 41/8. And so now I see we have 1 subtraction and 1 multiplication. So we want to do our multiplication first. So can we cross simplify? Not today. So we've got 1 times 41 gives us 41 over 2 times 8 gives us 16. Okay, now we've got to subtract. And we've got 2 unlike denominators. So we've got a 3 and a 16. Let's do this using the tree method. So 3 is already prime. 4 is going to be 2 times 2, or 16 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So actually they're not going to share any common factors, which means if you do the chart, you're going to see that actually it's just going to be the product of the two numbers. If they don't share any common factors, you're just going to have to multiply them both together to get your LCD. So here the LCD is going to be 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3, which is 16 times 3, or 48. So we need a common denominator of 48. So this first fraction here, we would have to multiply by what to get to 48? Well, if you're not sure, you can do 48 divided by 3 on your calculator, and that will give you 16. So we have to multiply that one by 16. So the second one here is a 16. How do we go from 16 to 48? We could once again go 48 divided by 16 this time, and you'll find it's 3. So we're basically multiplying the denominators by each other in this case. And so we get 13 times 16, which is what? 208 over 48, minus 41 times 3 is 123. Over 48, now we have that common denominator, so we can subtract the numerators. So 208 minus 123 equals, I get 85 over 48. And if you weren't sure if those numbers could be reduced or not, find a common, or go ahead and try to find a greatest common factor. You'll find the greatest common factor here is 1. They don't share any common factors, so there's no number we can divide by to simplify that fraction. So 85 over 48 is our final answer. It's an improper fraction, so if you wanted to convert it to a mixed number, you could. Let's do that. So if we have 85 divided by 48, that's going to go 1 time. We'll have to do some borrowing here. So we end up with 37 left over. So our mixed number here then would be 1 and 37 over 48. So either answer would be fine.